Good evening, everybody. It is that time once again. It is the hour of 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is time for Treasure Tales. Let me get the microphone over here so y'all be able to hear me. And we're going to have a really good show tonight, I think. But we have a little housekeeping to do, and there's something that I wanted to just briefly chat with you all about. Now, today was not a good day. Someone that's very, very dear to the metal detecting community and who's very special to me, the Diggin Canuck. Mr. Canuck was rushed to the hospital this morning and he had a heart attack. So they immediately took him into surgery due to Liz's quick thinking and reaction to get him to the hospital. He immediately went into surgery, and as I understand it, they put a stent in, which happens for blockage. And he seems to be doing okay. The last report I had, he'll be in cardiac ICU for just a few days. Maybe he'll get to go home Saturday. But he's got he's got to take it easy, and the poor man has some other problems as well. So everybody out there, if you are of the praying sort, please send prayers to Liz, the Diggin Canuck, for her husband and her daughter, as well as herself, to give them strength to be there and be strong and to do the things that need to be done. I think her husband probably has a little bit of a rough road to hoe for a little while, but on the bright side of it, he has Liz and he has his daughter, and there's nobody more capable to take care of him than Liz. So we just everybody send prayers to Liz for strength and peace of mind. I'm sure she was freaking out, as well she should. I know the feeling. I mean, I retired in 2013 in June, and come Christmas Eve in 2013, 5 o'clock in the morning, I have a heart attack. So, boom, going to the hospital. It's Christmas Eve. There's no staff, so they take me by ambulance clear over to Tallahassee to the big hospital, and I waited till about 10:30 at night before I got in my room. So, but everything's okay. Got the medication, doing well, as I'm sure that Mr. Canuck will pull through this and do very, very well. So everybody send prayers. If you're not the praying sort, send good vibes and good wishes. So let's go ahead. We got a really good show tonight. I'm kind of waiting for our guest of honor to join up, as I wish he would soon. And then we can get started here. But I'm going to go in and I'm going to say hello to everybody while we're waiting for him to join up. So the first in the chat tonight was Andrew T. And he's a very nice fellow from Canada that says it's warm and pleasant in Canada, which is good. We're glad of that. And then we have Metal Detecting Brooklyn. Richard, hello. How are you? Glad that you are with us tonight. Heritage Relic Hunters. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining in tonight. And thank you, Heritage Relic Hunters, for joining with us tonight. Dirty Paws Detecting, that would be Trish and Mike from Tampa area. Good friends. Great folks. We're glad that you're here. And then I have my brother from another mother, the Mumbles Man, is in the house. And we have somebody new, Quarter of Water. We're glad that you joined us tonight. Hope you enjoy the show. And let's see, Mark Fiorella from Buffalo is, I think that Buffalo is quite pleasant weather as well. So it's about time. It gets very cold and nasty there in the wintertime. But it is what it is. Let's see. Let me keep going here. Il Digger. Hello, Il Digger. How are you? I'm glad that you joined us tonight. Frederick Romano. Hello, Frederick. I'm glad that you are joining us tonight. Andrew Craig. Oh, Andrea Craig. See, I know I ain't got but one eye, and it's just marginal at best. So we're glad that you joined us tonight. And let's see who else is in the house here in the chat. Robert Ridgway. Hello, Robert Ridgway. Glad that you joined us tonight. It's good to see you. And there's a Facebook user. I don't know who exactly that is, but they're wishing the Digging Canuck, Mr. Canuck, well, and we thank him for that. Rich Van Winkle. Hello, everybody. Barry. Oh, it jumped on me. Let's see. Barry O'Sullivan, hello, Barry. And they're praying for Mr. Canuck. Um, let's see, there's a Facebook user. I'm glad that you are with us tonight. Gary Kerr, glad to meet you, Gary. Glad that you're with us tonight. Adele Lampersky Rutherford, a darling of a person, a great detectorist, and the love giver for August, who is just the cutest thing. He is just so cute. He takes after his Grammy, I think. So thanks, Adele, for joining us tonight. And I think we might be at the Glenn Bowles. Nice to see you tonight, Glenn. Glad that you joined us. Well, we've got a fairly busy show tonight. There's going to be a lot of people stop by, I think. As you know, Treasure Tales is different than Treasure Talk. My brother from another mother, Phil Myers from Myers Metal Detectors, he and I do Treasure Talk on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I started doing Treasure Tales at 8 o'clock on Eastern Standard Time for all the treasure hunters out there. Treasure Talk is completely different format. It's more of an educational show. We have manufacturers and other guests on there, and we talk detecting technique and this type of thing. Treasure Tales is more about you, the treasure hunter. There's a lot of really good treasure hunters out there, make great content with their YouTube channels, and some of them, of course, don't have a YouTube channel, but that's okay. And the purpose of Treasure Tales is to introduce you to the world, if you will, because there's a lot of really good content that people can watch, and they may not know about it. And they're not, some people just aren't real good at surfing through on YouTube. It's hard enough on YouTube on a good day. So that's our purpose with Treasure Tales, and you're going to meet somebody tonight. Hopefully you know them. If you don't know them, you're going to be introduced to them and a bunch of other folks. So you'll have a real good time. So let's see, there's a bunch of other people that joined. Let me get up to where I was. Okay, Stephen Wigington. Hello, Stephen. Glad that you joined us from Houston. And my other brother from another mother, Mr. Philip the Guru Myers. He is with us tonight. Hello, Phil. Dee O'Brien. Hey, Dee. Glad that you joined us tonight. Let's see. And Ski Searcher, glad that you're with us tonight, Ski Searcher. And let's see. I think we're at the Pink Power Alley, Ontario Ringfinders, another sweetheart of a person. So we got all the really cool people watch Treasure Talk and Treasure Tales. So let's get into this because we got a big show tonight. And we're going to introduce our main guest. Now, this gentleman has been around a while. A bigger heart you'll not find anywhere in the world for the treasure hunting and metal detecting community. He does an awful lot for this community. And just a wonderful fella. Many of you will know him. If not, you're about in for a treat. A very special treat tonight. So let's bring on our main guest tonight, Mr. Charles Harley. Hello, Charles. How are you tonight?
Well, here I am. How you doing, everybody? I will say prayers. His husband, very unfortunate situation. I hope he gets out of the hospital soon, but lots of prayer his way.
Yes, indeed. Well, you're breaking up a little bit, Charles. I think probably it's the internet. that that we have to deal with. But if not, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody all around the world and tell them a little bit about you and what you like to do.
Well, most people know me as Charlie, and I love metal detecting. I am very fortunate. I live in Colonial, Pennsylvania, and this is a great place to metal detect. We find some wonderful coins and rocks here. I know some of our guests tonight will also share that same information to you, but it's a fun hobby. I was born in Pennsylvania, grew up on a family farm. And first of all, I'd like to share with you how I got started in metal detecting. It was by accident, to be honest with you.
Please do. Please do.
We had 4 family farms, and one farm we decided to put up for auction. We're all getting up in years, and one of the things that we wanted to do was to find a farm. So I went out and bought a cheap metal detector. And I was able to find all the survey pins on the one farm that we were auctioning off. And besides finding survey pins, I also found colonial coppers. Didn't know what they were at first. I started watching YouTube videos about metal detecting. And that's how I started. So it's kind of weird, isn't it, to start metal detecting by metal detecting survey pins.
Well, yeah, everybody got to, start a different way, but that was a good way. You had a need, you figured out how to do it, and then, the good Lord shined down upon you. You found some colonial coppers and some other stuff, and it just really piqued your interest.
We go to the beach here along the East Coast, and with the kids, I would metal detect with the kids for objects, in the beach of sand. But that was fun, but I never realized I would get into it like full time, and
yeah,
that's where it all started.
Yeah, it does indeed. Now I have to say, with I've seen a lot of the videos out there, and some of the people that are with us tonight, they're kind of sketchy, aren't they, Charlie? Some of these people,
Well, yes, they are, and sometimes I hide behind trees when my neighbors go by.
That's probably not a bad idea,
especially when you get, along the roadway. When one of your guests comes on, he will definitely say that most people in this area know me. Up in the valley, not far from where I live, is where my wife grew up, and we have a lot of colonial farms up in that area. And it's fairly easy for me to get permissions because I'm not known as Charles Harley. I'm known as Judy Snyder's husband. Judy Snyder is the family name. They don't know me, but they know the Snyders, and they have, like I said, a couple farms up that way, and it's easy to get a permission. If you know the Snyders, then you get on the land pretty easily.
Yeah.
So that's a fortunate thing to be, that my wife is well known, and that the family is well known. And it's loaded with 1700 old farms back to 1720s and 1730s. The Daniel Boone Homestead is right next to our farm. The Daniel Boone Homestead, the Abraham Lincoln family homestead is next across the field. So you're talking about history in our area, and yes, we're fortunate. We're blessed here.
Yeah, you are. You got one guy that hunts with you sometimes. He wears these odd-looking glasses, these big white honking things, and carrying fruit around all the time. What's up with that guy?
I still don't know. I've been questioning that for years now. But I'll tell you what, his glasses and that fruit that he buries in the ground gives him good luck, because he's pulled some wonderful coins and relics out of the ground. So maybe I should start to do that myself. I'm not sure what fruit I would use, but we have a lot of apples here, so maybe I'll do that.
Apples would probably work. I mean, bananas have been taken, and so it's probably better use some other kind of fruit. But he's one you really got to keep your eye on. I mean, if you got your car there and it's unlocked, he'll be going through your car and stuff, So
I watch him. I watch him very closely.
you
But
have to.
yeah, it's been a whirlwind situation being around those guys. Lots of laughs. From the morning till late in the day, we hang together, we detect together. It's a blast. Some of the things we find is very incredible. We've been on some permissions that is just unbelievable. This one permission we call the Field of Dreams. Recently, there was an event in my hometown where 100 people came to the event, and 50 people know who they are. The list is too long to remember, but I took them out to some of the other permissions that we've already been at, and this one called Field of Dreams. We were there for a couple of days, and the number of coppers that we found are just incredible. And like I said, we've been there for 3 years. The one part of the field, we found over 500 colonial buttons so far. You name it, we found it there. Even Washington inaugural button we found there. It's just, It was incredible. Yeah, and I thought we were over. I thought we were done. We went back with this group of people that came in for this event from all over, and yeah, it turned out to be a good field to go back again. So we're fortunate.
Sometimes
but
people
again,
keep on giving. You know,
it's unbelievable.
Stuff, you know, especially you know, with some of the new detectors are out now. I think the two premium detectors, in my mind, at any rate, that is out right now is the Deus 2 and the Nocta Macro Legend. I think they are at the top.
I'm impressed with both. I'm impressed with both of them. Seriously, the about a month ago when we were at this what I call the Field of Dreams, those two detectors were working very well, and they pulled out some great coins and relics that day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I watched some people with the Legend, and I think this next guy we need to bring on, he probably has one of those, doesn't he?
He might have more than one.
The Banana King, well, he probably does. Yeah, yeah. We call him the Produce Man. Let's bring him on, shall we? Listen, look at him shake his head, Charles. He knows we were talking about him.
What's going on, guys? Jeff, I also want to start off on a somber note and give my thoughts and prayers.
I lost you guys. Oh, there he is.
I don't know if Charlie can hear us, Jeff.
I don't know if he can or not. I think he's having some internet problems. Yeah. But go ahead, Grace.
All right. Well, I just wanted to give my thoughts and prayers to Liz. Okay, Liz and her husband and her whole family, speedy recovery. And Jeff, how you like to refer to Phil as your brother from another mother, Charlie is my sister from another mister.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, Charles, I got a question for you. When you had all those 50 people at your house, you didn't feed them, did you?
He broke up, but I'll answer.
What's that?
He did feed them. He did feed them.
Hot dogs?
No, there was a whole spread. Charlie's wife is an excellent cook. Charlie's daughter made stuff. There was a little bit of a potluck. We kind of brought something for the festivities, but Charlie, like you said, he's got a big heart. He opened his home, had everybody come over. I mean, there's not a mean bone in the guy's body.
That's what I understand. And, you know, he was telling me about the Field of Dreams. Now, I've watched a number of the videos with the Field of Dreams, and that field just keeps on giving it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's been several fields out his way that were just incredible. That Field of Dreams, I wasn't there when these 50 people went, but I think that day alone they found like 25 coppers or something like that.
That's a bunch. That's a bunch. You think maybe, you know, Charles said you were listening when I asked about, you know, if you think it could have something to do with the advances in the latest releases from Nocta Macro and Deus. You think that may have a little something to do with continuing to find coins that you didn't find before?
Is that for Charlie?
For you and Charlie.
Oh, for me. Well, I mean, you know how this hobby is. I'm not sure what he's talking about.
Well, everybody's going to jump in. It's going to be a melee tonight. Especially Charlie doesn't have real good internet, but we're going to get through it. We can handle it.
I'm having internet problems here, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, it happens, Charlie. Trust me, I know about that.
Charlie, just do sign language and I'll interpret. Just do some sign language.
But don't do this, you know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what's going on here. I really don't. But
if you guys
apologize.
Don't apologize. We're good. We're good.
How about switch? I'm going to switch over to my phone. I'm going to leave you guys and switch back over to the phone. All right.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
I'll see what I can. I'll see if I can get on better. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to leave you for a while.
Okay.
Yep, got it. Anyway, yeah, like you're saying, Jeff, I mean, you know, you could go to a spot with the same machine for 10 years and find stuff you miss. So I don't want to say it necessarily has to be the latest and greatest machine, but it sure does help when you not only have a new machine, but a machine that you're confident in and comfortable navigating all the buttons. You know how it works. You know what it's telling you, because maybe a faint squeaker that someone else might walk over, when you know your machine, you might be able to tell that that's something promising and get rewarded for it. So it is a combination of everything. You know, it takes a little bit of luck. It's got to be there in the first place. You got to know your machine. You got to be confident, and you got to put in the time to actually get out there and give yourself a chance to find stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I think, though, we were talking specifically about the Deus 2, which I'm a Deus 2 user. Been very, very, very impressed with that machine. And also with the Legend. A very good friend of mine just got his Legend. And, you know, of course, on the internet, Facebook, you hear all kinds of, stupid stuff, you know. But he has got that Legend dialed in on the beach, and it is just unbelievable. There, let's see if we got Charles back now. Okay, Charles.
I'm back. I switched to my phone. I'm on
okay. What I'm going to do, Jason, I'm going to remove you and bring you right back in.
Okay.
Okay, now.
I'm sorry about that. I don't know what the
there we go. No, ain't no worries, Charles. No worries. We don't worry about the small stuff.
I feel that I did my best Charlie impression while you were gone.
Oh, okay. Appreciate it. I know.
He did too. He did a good one. Well, we've got a couple of other people that you might know that have probably been lurking around your place out there, Charles. I don't know. Let's see who's popped in here. You guys know this guy, or is he just a vagrant?
He's a vagrant. I can tell right away.
Hi, guys.
Jeff, this is your life. You should make sure to guess who these people are.
I think
that gets worse.
Rich Van Winkle, right? Rich Van Winkle.
How you guys doing?
We're good. This is like your Nightmare on Elm Street. You don't live on Elm Street, do you, Charles?
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Or it's Halloween or something like that, you know.
I'm impressed with what Rich finds. I think he uses a Garrett 400, right? Or 350?
400, but I did just acquire the Legend. So
wow.
I've been yeah.
Yeah.
You can thank Jason and Doug for that.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't Dog Tag Doug, doesn't he use a Simplex a lot?
Doug also uses the Legend now. Doug's been using it for only about 2 weeks, and Rich got his about maybe a week ago. So it's still new to them. But Doug was using the Simplex for a while. He also had an Equinox, and Rich has been using the Ace 400 since we met him. And Jeff, you've never seen a guy find as much stuff with an Ace 400 as Rich does. I mean, the guy just finds so much stuff. He outworks all of us. Now he's also 15 years younger than all of us at least. But
Yeah, he
he knows his
a
machine.
young buck.
Well, when you're young and you dig a lot of signals and he's paying attention, and I'm always goofing around talking, but Rich is all business. From the second we get out of the car, his machine is on and he's out in the field.
Well, from what I see in the videos, they're always calling you over there to video them, and Charles has got to give them all direction. So he's got all the time in the world to do all the hunting. Isn't that right, Charlie?
You better believe it. It's always a fun time when everybody's together. I'll give those guys all the help they need.
Well, the videos, it really comes across that everybody that's hunting together, your group of guys, everybody likes each other. Everybody's very good natured and can take a joke and ribbing. Because I know with my group, with my two brothers from another mother, the Mumbles Man and John David and the Guru Phil Myers. I mean, there's barbs flying all the time, and a lot of smack talk going on. But everybody knows that, we're all very close. We're all having a real good time. And that's what comes across in the videos from you guys,
Well, you got to like the people you're with. Like Charlie said, his area is history rich. So it doesn't take a rocket science to find good stuff when you're in an area like that. So you just want to make sure that you like the people you're with and you're going to have a good time. The finds are there to be found. It's really just putting the pieces together so you have a good day and share it with the people that you get along with, will appreciate it, will be happy for you. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, and if you don't have a day, a hunt that you don't really find a lot of stuff, but you remember them because of the people that you were hunting with. That's my theory, anyway.
Absolutely.
There's one thing, Jason and everyone else there. I just wish from the very beginning when I started to hunt with Jason that we would have kept a log. Every time we went out, every permission that we went to, it's a shame we didn't keep a log of what we found each time we were all together. It would be incredible. When you say Jason,
I have a library of videos. You can go back and watch them all.
About that recently,
I was going to say, they're there on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Hey, he can use the view.
Video definitely works.
He can use the view.
I wrote everything down. Just what's that?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The logbook in the car.
There's somebody else that just kind of lurking here. I see somebody else flitting in and out of here. Now, I don't know about this guy. He may be on the 10 most wanted list. I don't know. I thought I saw his picture on the post office wall one time, but I'm not sure. You guys might know him. I don't know. Let's see if you guys recognize this dude. Who's this dude here? You see him? You see him over there adjusting stuff? He's frowning and stuff.
I think they found him hitchhiking.
Huh?
I think he was hitchhiking.
He was hitchhiking, yeah.
He got picked up.
Remember what your mother told you, all of you. Never pick up hitchhikers and strangers. Because, it's like being home with
the whole show is going down the tubes now, Jeff.
How you doing, Jeff, Charlie, Jason, Rich?
Everybody's good. Everybody's really good. So announce yourself to everybody that's watching that may not know you. If they haven't watched Hoarder videos, then I feel sorry for them. But, just on the outside chance, somebody from Australia is watching. Paul?
What's that?
Introduce yourself to everybody.
Oh, yeah, PA Pirate Paul. Been detecting for 3 years now. Seem to pop up on everybody's show here and there. And been lucky enough to bump into Jason and hook up as much as we can right now. It's been a fun ride. Hope it doesn't end, but it's getting to be a lot of fun and getting to be tough to get the permission. So we just gotta hunker down and fight with it.
Yeah, permissions from time to time they get hard to find. Now you're the guy that always cleans everybody's finds on your shirt, right?
I do what?
You clean everybody's finds. They bring it to you because you got good eyes and you clean it on your shirt, right?
On my pants, down, on your pant leg.
Ah, okay.
You
I knew it was some article story. I don't know. I lost my head here.
Yeah, Jason has a name for that.
A bunch of fruit, are you?
Jason has a name for that.
I have a name for what?
The guy that wipes the fines on his pants.
Is it something we can put on the show, Jace?
I'm trying to remember what he used to call me.
I remember. Video. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it's like PG-13, Jeff. I don't know.
We better not. We got family watching, so.
Yeah. But yeah, Paul would grab the guy's coin and rub them on his jeans to try to figure out what the coin was, and he doesn't do it as much anymore.
They figured out I don't have magical pants, so now they clean their own themselves now.
Well, you probably got really good eyesight, though.
I just know coins pretty good, so that helps out.
Well, that's what I have to do because I'm about as blind as you can get, and my friend the Mumbles man, he's got pretty good eyesight, so I always say, "What is this?" Because I can't see it, and I get the loop, and I still can't see it. Well, who'd we lose? We lost Charles. Sure. He'll be back. He'll be back. His internet must be really sketchy out there. He lives out in the country, I think, doesn't he?
Yeah, he lives in a cave, actually, down by the river.
Well, yeah. Batman. A van. Batman. The Batman, yeah. Yeah, well, actually, he resembles Alfred a little bit more than the Batman. But and then I think now Rich Van Winkle, he could be a demon. He could be a demon in that series, don't you think? He's got the name for it.
Rich, Rich, we call him Rich obviously because he's got the long beard, Rich Van Winkle. But man, I'm telling you, Jeff, the guy is a machine when it comes to detecting, which is great. Charlie and I are talking and goofing around, so you need Rich or Paul or whoever to get out and find stuff while we're hobnobbing and making nicey nice and all that stuff. And that's what's great about it. Someone's got to be actually finding stuff. There he is, sort of.
There he is. He's coming. There he is. Welcome back, Charlie. We were talking about you. Yes, we were. Well, there's a number of other people.
I don't know what's going on here. The sky's dark here. I'll not.
Yeah, the internet is sketchy on the best
sorry,
of
boys.
days, Charlie. So we'll get her done. We don't even know. No apologies. No apologies. We don't need.
Just make sure if you got your Treasure Tales page up, you got the volume down.
Yeah, so no echoes. Just that
turn the volume down. No,
I think the internet is just really
all right.
cruddy. Yeah, I have times like that. But you guys hunt a lot together now, and I'm sure y'all hunt separately as well. And but it's more fun to hunt as a group, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, hunting by yourself stinks. Yeah, it stinks like butts, man. To hunt by yourself because you find something and you got nobody to tell. You got no one to share.
I just got bad connections.
Up.
Well, he just. I think we're going to have to suffer through that for the rest of the night, but we'll get him back. He'll be back.
He can pop in and out as he
yeah, he'll be in and out. I trust me. I understand about the internet. Sometimes But in the town where I live, the only thing I can get right now is CenturyLink. I can't get real good internet because
Where do
I'm
you
more
live,
than a
Jeff?
mile from the substation. There he is.
Where do you live, Jeff?
I live in Madison, Florida, which is, probably about 70 miles east of Tallahassee. And I live just outside the city limits, so all I can get is it's CenturyLink. It's kind of like AT&T, whatever DSL, but I can only get the lowest one because it's only 200 yards from my house, but they don't want to spend the money. So how that goes. So if you got a storm or something, it's terrible. So I don't know. We lost Charles's light. There he is. Okay, Charles, what'd you do? Go back on your phone or back on your laptop?
I feel like I'm watching Scream or something.
It's like the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, the Blair Witch.
Yes, it's kind of like the Blair Witch Project, isn't it?
Yeah, we got a storm.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. So what's next for you guys?
This is the last video evidence of Charlie Harley.
I'm getting frustrated. I'm sorry.
Just take a sip of something, and everything's good. We'll just keep bringing you back in if we need to.
It's not going well.
Don't apologize, Charlie. We don't need no apologies. Everybody's here to have a good time. You're the guest of honor, and we're dealing with it. If we can't deal with it, then we're a sad bunch of bozos. Let me tell you. So, you guys got any big hunts coming up over at Charlie's location again, the Field of Dreams?
I don't know, Paul. Are you going back to the Field of Dreams? Charlie lives about an hour and 45 minutes from me, so I don't get over as much as like Paul, because Paul lives by Charlie. So I don't get with him as much as Paul might. I don't know if they have any plans for going back. I haven't
been back to the Field of Dreams. Charlie said we can go back, but I think me and Charlie should take Jessica up there, and try to work on getting her first large set. That's the way I feel.
That's a new name, Jessica?
Yeah, there's a young girl that started detecting. Charlie knows her because Charlie used to be a school teacher.
Oh, yeah?
And Jessica's husband was one of his students. And Charlie, so when they got married and this young lady took up an interest, I think Charlie's old student introduced her to Charlie, who took her out once or twice, and I helped her get a machine. But she hasn't gotten anything that she feels is like really quality yet. She hasn't really gotten any super good old coins. So, Charlie tries to do the best he can to put her on some good spots. But she just hasn't had any luck yet. It takes a little bit of time, but she'll definitely get there.
Yeah, that'll come. How long has she been detecting?
I think a year.
Well, she's becoming due.
I think it's
her husband's a Bass Pro fisherman.
We're having a storm here. I'm
not doing outdoorsy.
I guess Charlie said he's having a storm there. I understand that. But the thing with what I always found, maybe you guys can tell me what you think. You go along, you go along, and you go along. It's like if you're a beach hunter, let's say. You go along for 2-3 months, you're in a dry spell, you don't find any gold. And then all of a sudden, the next hunt, boom, you might find 4 gold rings. And that's the way it's going to be for her once she, finds that first one, then it's just going to snowball. What do you guys think?
I think you're right.
No, I agree. It's it takes a little bit of luck. She has found a cannonball, which is a great find. But I know her heart's set on getting an old coin, and I'm sure she'll get one this year. I mean, it's just a matter of getting out there enough and getting on the right land. So I'm sure she'll end the year with several large cents and some old silver.
The whole problem with all of us, Jeff, is we've become such a great group of friends that we're a lot of guys, and it's hard to get on new permissions that we can fit a bunch of guys on.
Yeah, yeah. It's got to be big enough where you're not running into each other every 2 minutes, and it's hard to find big permissions like that.
And then some permissions you can only get 4 people on, and 3 people might be off the list. So
yeah. Yeah, well, it happens, and her time will come. And the good thing about it is she's got all you guys that are in her corner when you hunt with her going to help her. You can tell somebody what to listen for, but until they actually hear it, because their ear is going to hear it differently than your ear. And depending on what detector they've got and how they got it set up, so there's all kinds of variables with that. But like I said, after the first one, boom, boom, boom. And then she'll really get into finding some really good stuff. So she's got to be patient, I mean, you guys were all patient before you found your first really goodies,
Yeah, my first large stand, I was detecting over a year and a half before I found one, and I live in a colonial area too.
Yeah.
So sometimes it just takes a little bit of time. I think Rich found one his very first day.
I was really lucky. I grew up in a colonial house, and I live in a colonial house now. You can see the wall back here, my bedroom. But yeah, it didn't take me too long at my parents' house to find a copper. And that's what you were mentioning gold on the beach, and up here it's you go and you go and you go, and you find a copper, and then you find a couple coppers, but a lot of aluminum, a lot of trash.
Oh yeah, well you got to dig the trash. You got to put it's called paying your dues. It's just like guys on the beach. They see somebody, finding gold rings on YouTube and then think, well, I'm going to get me a detector. And I'm going to go out there and get rich. Well, I got a news flash for you. It don't work like that. You don't see in a lot of videos other than when y'all are digging, people want to see the good finds, but you let them know that there's a lot of trash that has to be dug. And it's the same way on the beach. You dig your aluminum and you dig your junk and you dig your pull tabs because if you don't, you're never going to find the gold. There you go. You get in and out of the lightning, Charles. Yeah. Yeah, just don't take no chances. If it gets the lightning out there, we'll get it. We'll reschedule everything. That ain't no problem. So this young lady, she's found a cannonball, correct?
Yeah, it was like a large. What was it, like a 4-pounder, Paul?
Charlie will know more. Is he in yet or not?
Well, he's in, but his audio is cutting in and out.
Can you hear us, Charles?
Yeah,
Charlie.
They said it's a 4-pounder, but it looks smaller than a 4-pounder.
Yeah, it was like a little bit bigger than a baseball. But that's a tough find, Jeff, with any machine because it's a solid block of iron. So it sounds like crud no matter what machine you're using.
Yeah, especially for a new detectorist, they always hear everybody, well, I've discriminated out all the iron and this and that and the other thing. Well, if you're hunting for relics, you better dig some of that iron because that's part of the relics.
Yeah. Most people probably would not dig that cannonball. I think she uses a simplex. I think she said it rang up like a 9, which is an awful, awful signal. Nobody would dig that. So it kind of helped that she was a beginner because an experienced detectorist might have just walked right over it.
Yeah, you're right. They would probably, and depending on with a simplex, probably. Now with a mine lab like an Equinox, if it comes up a 9, you're going to dig that unless it's really, really grunting a lot. I think if there people are VDI number hunters, which I seldom use VDI. I usually use tones, but like I said, everybody's different. Their ear hears things differently. So it helps when you got a bunch of experienced guys to hunt with, to help them along. Teach them about swing speed, that type of thing. There's a lot to this. It's just not grabbing the detector and going out there and harvesting the treasure. That doesn't happen. Sorry to say, it just doesn't. What do you guys think about that?
The more you know your machine, the better you're going to do, regardless of your machine. You want to know the subtle nuances. If you get to a spot where you're picking up interference or there's a lot of, small mineralization of iron, you want to know how to be able to get away from it or do whatever you got to do to make the day as successful as possible. You got to know your machine. You got to know how it works, how one setting now affects a different setting. And like I said, regardless of your machine, whatever you got, make the best of it by learning it and practicing it. And man, whenever I get a machine, a new one, I take it out back in my test garden. And when I say test garden, I just throw a bunch of stuff on the ground, but I swing over everything and I hit the button. How did it change it? I hit another button. How did it change? I hit combinations. I go up and down every button all over the spectrum because I want to know not only how do I change a swing speed, but now how does the swing speed now affect my sensitivity? How does it affect my iron audio? It all works in unison. So you got to put in the hours to know how everything works for you to really be confident that when you get out to that incredible spot, you're going to know what to do.
Yeah, yeah, and so you guys you all watch each other, and pick up technique tips and this type of thing. And I know that you guys are just detecting all day long. So
Paul's always watching me. I'm Paul's hero. He's always looking at me. It's kind of creepy, actually, Jeff.
But he's not winking or anything, I hope.
I don't know. I won't make eye contact with him anymore. He creeps me out.
Well, your mama didn't raise no dummy.
I'm only kidding. Of course, I love Paul. I wish Paul would look into the camera, though. Whenever we do a show, Paul's like looking off to the distance somewhere.
He likes to lurk in the dark, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, come on, Paul. Look into the camera. You know how pictures work.
Yeah, I mean, he's a lurker. That's a new name for him, the lurker.
I might lose subscribers if I
just listen.
Yeah.
People will unsubscribe if I hunt with the lurker.
Yeah, well, yeah, and let's go see what the lurker found. He's over there.
Rich wanted to chime in 10 times, but he forgets what he was going to say.
I don't forget.
Rich is a good guy. You know how we met Rich, Jeff, is he was a permission we had. His mother's house was this 1700s house. We got permission to detect there, and Rich joined us. And not only did he find a lot of stuff, but we liked him so much, he kind of became part of the group. And he's been going with us ever since.
Well, that's good. Now, who's missing now? We got Dog Tag Doug. He's missing.
Yeah, Doug couldn't make it tonight.
He had some kind of a medical procedure, and I hope he's.
Yeah, he had nothing serious, but he couldn't make it.
Joe was going to stop him, but she said he passed out. He's done. He worked too hard today.
Who was that, Paul?
Just Silver Joe. I am representing with the Just Silver Joe shirt.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I'm wearing it in honor of Joe because he couldn't make it.
Oh, nice.
You got a number of people that hunt with you from time to time, but your core group is pretty much with Doug and Rich and Paul and who else is it?
Well, Charlie and Joe, and there's another new guy, Matt. We started going with. Like Paul said, I mean, in the winter when the farm fields are open and you can get 7-8 people on a farm field because they're so big and vast, and farmers are usually pretty lenient.
Right.
We all get together as often as we can. This time of year when the farms are planted and we have to knock on doors and do houses, yards aren't as big. Homeowners are very skeptical to see 7-8 people, digging in their yard. So we don't get to dig all of us together as much in the summer. But as soon as the fall harvest comes around, hopefully we'll be back, as often as possible again.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the way it is in England too. You have certain permissions, and you can hunt in the spring, after they till the ground, but not so much after it gets planted.
Yeah.
And then in the
Plants are
fall,
tough.
after they harvest their crops and then do their fall plowing, that's what I like to hunt in England is in the fall.
That's
Weather's best.
like arrowheading.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
once it's planted, it's planted.
Now, the one good thing about the summer, and we said this last year and we never actually got around to it, is we wanted to try to detect some of these old creeks that run right by all the colonial houses. Now,
Hmm.
the creek is public land, so we can get a bunch of us on there. The only private land you need is the entrance to the creek, cutting through someone's yard or where to
Yeah.
park your cars. And several people who we hunted their properties in the winter gave us permission to cut through and get to the creek. So once the weather gets warm enough, because you don't want to be in the water when it's 60 degrees out, then it'll be nice. We can all go in the creek, try some water hunting. Who knows? I've never done it before, but I'd have to think some of these old bridge crossings that go back
Oh
300
yeah.
years, there's going to be some really good stuff. And the likelihood that it's never been hunted before is really good because I've never seen anyone detecting in some of these creeks. So
Oh
we'll see what
yeah.
happens.
Well, the creek back in those days, that was the prime source of water. So you know,
Absolutely.
you never know what you're going to find. And a lot of times, in the fresh water, a lot of the coins and stuff will be just pristine, get buried down in the muck and really well preserved. And of course, you never know, tools and all kinds of other artifacts will be in the water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
so I think
excited about it.
I think that's really, really a good possibility. How deep do those creeks run there by you?
Well, if it's not after a big storm or anything, it's only ankle high, maybe calf high. We could walk in. It's not like we have to swim. Um, so it's very manageable. They're probably about, what would you say, Paul, 40 feet wide or so. So plenty of room to get a large group and go in and just kind of push down the stream and see what happens. I've never
I
tried it.
think a lot of them were swimming holes,
Yeah,
just
there are
to go
probably a
and
lot of swimming
picnic
holes.
Yes.
and swim in the water.
Oh yeah. Well, that's where you find a lot of the old jewelry and stuff. You know, of course, you think back and back in those days, in the summertime, if it was 95 degrees, they were sweated down. They may have just jumped in the creek with all their clothes on, whatever was in their pockets. Could end up in the creek. So I think you guys are onto something. Uh,
Yeah,
you
that's going
know,
to be the plan for hopefully July and August, in the really hot months up here.
yeah, because
I'm
getting
excited
out.
to do some water hunting.
Yeah. Now
We
we
have
all
some
have
good
waterproof
spots around
gear.
here.
Every time we planned it, like that weekend, it would rain, and then the water would be high, and then we couldn't go. And then the next week, it was too muddy.
Yeah, it gets to be that way. Sometimes you got to catch it right with the weather. But I tell you what, when it's 95 degrees out and you're in that cool water, that's going to feel good.
Yeah.
That's
And
just
Paul
watch
doesn't know how to swim,
your.
so he has to climb on my back, and that's uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, it would be. Swing your detector and drag Paul. What are you going to do? you know, just just say, Paul, I thought I bet you there's a real good signal up over there, and just send him off, or something. But now y'all got the big long handled scoops, don't you? Because digging with a spade in the creek ain't going to cut it, I don't think.
Well, some of these creeks are very rocky bottoms, like little, not like larger rocks, like stone
Mhm.
rocky bottoms. So I don't know what the best thing to dig in. I don't think a scoop's going to work. I don't know if a shovel's going to work. It might just be reach down with your hands and move these rocks out of the way.
Well,
I've
you
never
would
done it.
probably like our waterways because our waterways are really wide and they're very clear and they can be really shallow. So you
Yes,
can see the bottom easily.
yeah, you may want to get like a hand scoop or a nice, good, sturdy trowel and drill a few holes in it to drain some of the water and stuff out, and that might help. It's worth a
Yeah, we're
try.
gonna have to play it by ear. It's gonna be a
Yeah,
bit of a mystery. We've never done it.
yeah. So it'll be fun. You guys are gonna find. I got a feeling you're gonna find a whole bunch of stuff. Maybe some more witching stuff and all that kind of stuff. So you never know. It's gonna be
I
good.
think it's going to be a really hot one this year, so I think that's going to be necessary.
I think it's going to be real hot this year.
Yeah.
Jason and I were talking a little bit ago. Is we whatever happened to spring? Well, we don't get spring anymore. We're in the mid to upper 90s down here now. It went from being in the 60s, boom, to 90s. So
yeah, we're going to have to fit some Alaska detecting trips in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you look even up in Canada, it's pretty warm right now. Well, we just lost Rich.
They lost
Yep.
Rich.
Yeah. I think we must have had the internet problem, or it fell out or something like that. So he'll come back in. We got a few minutes left yet. Yeah, so Charles must be really in a bad storm. So
I don't know, because I'm like 10 minutes from Charlie and I don't got no storm going on yet. Must be one going in his direction.
Do you guys have different internet providers?
It's possible.
Yeah, because I think he was really in and out, audio and everything. So just don't know. But anyways, well, guys, it's about time to wrap it up. I appreciate y'all stopping by tonight. What's next for you guys other than the water hunting?
I think Jason's got some shows coming up.
Yeah, I'm doing some travel in a little bit this summer to some of the events. I have a good relationship with Dr. Macro, and I go to some of the events and hang out by the tents, show people how to use the machines.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing some of them. Paul is going to be in a book. He just got done writing his little biography, so that's an exciting thing going on. I can't wait to read it.
The Doug will be in at the same time.
Yeah, Doug will be in the book. I think Rich will be in the book, and Joe. They're all going to have like a biography part in this book, which is kind of cool.
Very cool. That'd be good. That'd be a lot of fun. Let us keep us posted on when the book is out and where we can get it, and we'll get.
And how is Doug? Since Doug couldn't pop in today.
He's good. Doug's having a procedure done tomorrow. Nothing serious, but he had to do like all the prep stuff, and I think it knocked him out.
So now he's going to get something to do. Wow.
Yeah, fortunately for me, the last one I had, they said I didn't have to have one again unless I really wanted to. But when I was 80, and I said, well, you never know. I might want the attention when I'm 80. Who knows?
Hey, you never know. You got to do what you got to do.
You take it when you can get it.
Yep.
Well, guys, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy lives to join us tonight. It's unfortunate that Charles had bad internet, and we kind of wanted to honor him a little bit tonight. But we want to thank you all for stopping by and spending some time with us, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Absolutely.
Good.
Take care, guys.
All your love.
All right.
Bye-bye. All righty. So that was it was an interesting show, I think. It's too bad that Charlie had some bad internet, and that happens. It just happens. There's not much you can do about it, but hopefully y'all got to meet Charles and learn a little bit about him and the other crew. And there's a number of them that just couldn't make it tonight. It's kind of hard to get everybody together at a certain time. Everybody's got busy lives. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight and spending some time with us. And there again, I would like to, if you joined in late, if you don't know, my co-host, Liz Cabral, the Diggin' Canuck, her husband had a heart attack today. So there was kind of a shake up at her house, and I want everybody to send good wishes and send prayers for a full recovery to Mr. Canuck and Liz and their daughter, and just wish him the best. And we want to thank you for joining us tonight. And one thing I always say, treasure stories, there's a million of them out there. All of them are good. All of them have meaning, and all of them are important. And we here at Treasure Tales, we want to hear your treasure story. So please get up with me and let's get you on Treasure Tales so we can tell the world about you and your treasure story. Happy hunting and dig deeper, and good night, everybody.